Hey there, welcome to another edition of NIU Weekly, our first edition of the 2025 season. Very excited to be with you again. My name is Terry Bonadonna. I will be your host. I'm in year 2 now hosting NIU Weekly and couldn't be more excited to be here. Honestly, I couldn't be more excited. I know a lot of people just say that, but really the excitement meter doesn't go any higher right here. So I'm really glad to be back. I'm really glad that I'm going to get a chance a little bit later on to talk to head coach Thomas Hammock about the NIU football team this year, because it is another fun year of football. A lot of anticipation around DeKalb about this year's team. And so we're going to get our first look at them coming up this Saturday against Holy Cross. And Thomas Hammock will be with me to preview that. Of course, we'll be with you every week on NIU Weekly, talking about everything that's going on in the world of Huskies athletics. We're going to talk a lot about football, but other sports going on as well. In fact, later on in today's show, Michael O'Neill will be joining me. He is the head women's soccer coach here at NIU, so we'll get an update on them. And we'll be every week on the NIU Athletics official YouTube channel. So don't just watch this show. You can like and subscribe to the channel, and then you will be able to get press conferences every week. You'll be able to get highlights from football, but not just football. Again, basketball, volleyball, a whole lot of what's going on around NIU. So that should be your first stop for everything NIU athletics. Your second stop, of course, would be NIUHuskies.com, where you can always get rosters, schedules, everything else you need, including information on how to get tickets. There are still season tickets available for this NIU football season. So you can still get your season tickets right now. And of course, you can also get your individual game tickets. There are tickets available for this Saturday against Holy Cross. We're going to talk about that game on today's show with Coach Hammock. As I said, a little bit later on, we'll be talking with the women's soccer coach, Michael O'Neill, but I think it's a good time to dive into our first interview of the day. So let's welcome Coach Thomas Hammock. All right, I'm very excited to welcome my first guest today, the head football coach at NIU, Thomas Hammock. And Thomas, it's great to see you for the first time in the 2025 season. I know we're all excited about the start of this season. How's it going today?
It's going good. Glad to be here. Just had an excellent practice. The guys are fired up to play, and can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah, I know we're all fired up to see the guys play as well. It's such a long buildup every year to get to the first game of the season, from spring practice to the summer to, the last several weeks of specifically preparing for the start of this season. How have you felt the team has prepared for this week's game against Holy Cross?
Well, I really like where these guys are at. I think it's been a competitive fall camp. I think it's been a physical fall camp. Obviously, with the new rules and regulations as far as roster size, you definitely have to be a lot smarter with how you practice. Walkthroughs become extremely critical for the development. But I think we were smart. I think we were able to get the work that we needed done. I think we were able to keep our team healthy and be as healthy as we can be going into the first game. And now it's about going out there and executing, doing the things necessary to put yourself in a position to play your best football. And so the thing we always talk about is not making the game bigger than what it is. If you can play like you practice, then we'll be in great shape.
The first game is always so strange because you have months essentially to prepare for 1 week, and then going forward you have 6-7 days between games. But everybody has that same amount of time to prepare for the opening game. You seem to have a lot of success. You've won 4 consecutive season openers. What do you think the key to that has been?
Well, I think keeping the players in the right mind frame. Just staying committed to the process, understanding that the work is already done. You have to trust your training. You see some young people get overly excited. Some people don't get excited enough. You only get 12 guaranteed opportunities. So you want to make the most of those opportunities. And the thing we try to harp on the most is to be brilliant in the basics. Perform well with your fundamentals and techniques, and let that be your guide. And then we talk about you have to reset for 6 seconds. Play as hard as you can play for 6 seconds, reset yourself, and then play as hard as you can play another 6 seconds, with the understanding that this is not a game of perfect. There's going to be mistakes. And when adversity strikes, reset yourself, overcome that, and then try to go out there and play the best that you can play.
A year ago at this time, we were talking about how you had one of the most experienced rosters in the entire country. This year, it's a little bit the opposite. There are a lot of freshmen and sophomores who are going to be seeing game action this season, a handful of transfers coming in as well. And you did lose a lot of starters from last year's team. How do you feel like some of these younger players have stepped up and filled in?
Well, I really like I like the work ethic of this team. I think we got a group of guys that understand what it means to put the work in, to grind, um, the daily commitment, the investment, of what it takes to make yourself as good as you can be. And so, to me, when you have a group of young people that understands, okay, this is the amount of effort and energy it takes to master my craft. I think that gives you a chance, and that's as a coach, that's all you can ask for. Guys putting in maximum effort and maximum, um, attention to detail to maximize their ability, and that's the type of team we have. So for us, it's about going out there and putting that to work. These guys have put the work in since January. They've done everything we've asked them to do, and then now it's about cutting it loose for 3,600 seconds. And that's what we talk about. Go out there and have fun, and do the things you've been coached to do.
Let's talk about some of the players that you've got coming back to the team this year. Josh Holst is a guy who's been with the program for a couple of years. We saw him develop quite a bit just from the start of last season to the end of last season. Now he's had a full off season to go along with that. What has he shown you that makes you think he can be a leader in this program this year?
Well, I think Coach Sanders has done an excellent job, with the quarterback room, really elevating the play of that room. I think, he's built the system around the players. I think they really taken to that. I think he's gotten them to perform at an exceptional level. And I'm excited about all the quarterbacks in our room, Josh included. I think what I've seen is the development of that position, how those guys are playing, how they elevated their game, give me tremendous confidence about that position as we continue to move forward.
The rest of the offense, when we talked in the spring, you were very excited about the offense that Quinn Sanders was installing with the school. And you've had a chance to work with him now for a few extra months. You've had a chance to work with him and with the players now, specifically in practice, installing this offense. How do you feel it's going to be different from what we've seen in past years at NIU?
Well, I think, number one, I think he has a great ability to adapt and adjust. And I think that's, kind of rare amongst coaches sometimes. I think sometimes coaches get stuck in their ways of doing things a certain way. I think you have to be adaptable and adjustable. You may not have the same personnel group week in and week out. You may have injuries. You may have somebody may be outperforming somebody else. So you have to adjust and adapt. And I think Quinn is doing a nice job adapting and adjusting to our personnel. I think you're going to see different things week to week, things that we can exploit, ways that we can feature the strengths of the talents that we have on offense. And I'm excited to watch it on display.
And one of the other things that he has contributed to the school already is one of his old players, Shavon Wright, has come over to become a running back at NIU. He joins Telly Johnson in a very impressive freshman year last year. You brought in some transfer wide receivers. What can you tell us about the skill position guys?
Yeah, I really like our skill position group. And the reason I like them is because of, again, how they work. When you have skill guys that know how to work, know how to train, know how to execute at a high level with great focus, discipline, and attention to detail, you're going to get their best performance. Sometimes, skill players can be guys that, if they're not feeling 100%, you're not going to get their best. These guys are going to come out no matter how they're feeling, put the work in, sacrifice for the team. They're tremendous team players, and Shavon Wright has really helped elevate other guys on offense by the way he works. He's made our running back room better. He made our receiver room better because he is truly the epitome of a leader by example. And I think, he's made our team better just by his presence in the building.
The offensive line was so experienced last year. You lost a lot of that experience, but one of the things that you and I talked about a lot throughout the season last year was you were starting to work in some of the younger guys so that they got game experience, which means that they come into this year as starters when they're not being thrown into the action for the first time. How do you feel like those guys have progressed during this camp and the lead up to the opening game?
Well, first of all, I think Coach Meadows has done a phenomenal job with that group. What you don't see sometimes is, all the different combinations that you have to use in practice to get guys experience. A guy may be a right tackle in the game, but he's getting reps at left tackle, or he's getting reps at right guard. A guy may be a right guard, he's getting reps at left guard, he's getting reps at center. So all the different combinations that may come up, so you can constantly create depth within your program to be able to withstand injuries or different things that may come up throughout the season. All the different possibilities that may go on, especially on the offensive line, is critical for your success. And Coach Mellis has really built our depth internally. We have a lot of different guys that can play a lot of different spots, which I think creates a tremendous amount of value. I feel good with 8 guys right now. We're trying to get it to 10. I think we can develop 2 more guys in our program. And if you can have 10 guys you feel great with that you can win with, I feel like that's a tremendous number to have going into the season. Last year, this time we had 6. Right now, I feel like we have 8 that we can go out there and we can play with and go play winning football.
Let's talk defense a little bit. This year's group has a lot to live up to. Last year is one of the best defenses in school history. You lose a lot of the starters from that team, a few of them to the NFL, a few of them to transfers, a few of them graduated. But this year, you've got a few of the key components back and a lot of new players as well. What do you expect out of this defense?
Well, I think our defense is going to go out there and play at a standard that we expect. I mean, the one thing we're not going to be fooled by is statistics. Our goal is to win games. We won 8 games last year. Our goal is to try to win more. Statistics aside, I think we're going to have a defense that's going to play sound, that's going to be aggressive. Our goal is to try to create turnover and take the ball back and not give up explosive plays. I really like, what we have up front. I think our D-line will again be a strength of our defense. I think we were able to add some key contributors in the transfer portal. And, we will supplement that with younger guys that have grown up in our program. And I'm anxious to watch our defense play starting on Saturday.
If we look at the special teams, you lost your kicker, you lost your punter, you lost your long snapper from last year. So a lot of pieces to replace, some of them from within. You did get a transfer kicker, Andrew Glass, who's a very accomplished kicker. What has that meant to what you can add to the offense in addition to the special teams?
Yeah, I think the special teams unit gives us the ability to play winning football on that phase. I think our special teams unit hurt us at times last year. I think we've enhanced that group. Coach Conley has done a phenomenal job being able to put guys in position to make them understand they can be difference makers on special teams. I love the core group of special teams guys that we have playing multiple phases. Elijah Porter and Trey Porter, the Porter brothers, are 4-phase special teams guys for us, along with a host of other guys. But our specialists, Andrew Glass is a kicker we feel very confident with. Danny Vukovic, our punter, Ross Pedro, our long snapper. We feel like we have a core group of specialists that give us a great opportunity to be excellent on special teams this year.
Let's look ahead to the opener. You got Holy Cross on Saturday. What can we expect to see against that team?
Well, Holy Cross is a good football team. Obviously playing the Patriot League. Coach Curran has done a good job taking over that program. Very physical unit. They play hard. They play physical. They know who they are. They know who they want to be. So we got to play smart. We obviously got to take care of the football. We have to be able to tackle. We can't have a bunch of penalties. And we have to play a clean game. And we got to play for 4 quarters. It's going to be a 4-quarter football game. And we have to be able to show up to give ourselves the best chance to win.
Coach Thomas Hammock, pleasure as always to talk to you. I know I'm really looking forward to the start of the season, so it's been great having the chance to get this conversation in, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you, and go Huskies.
Our next guest on NIU Weekly today is the head women's soccer coach here at NIU, Michael O'Neill. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Terry.
We've got a lot to talk about. First of all, covering the start of the season because you're already several weeks into the campaign. Just a quick update on the first 4 games. How do you think the team's been playing so far?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for us. We currently stand at 1-2-1 on the season. We opened up with two Big East teams coming into DeKalb and went 1-1. Marquette started a bit slow in the game and went down 2-0. Gave a good effort in the remainder of the game, but unfortunately opened the campaign with a 2-0 loss. And then great response against DePaul on the Sunday night against a good team, and we're able to get our first win of the season there. So that got us off to winning ways. And then this past week, we came back from a long trip to Minneapolis. We were there for 5 days, playing St. Thomas in Minnesota. St. Thomas game, we ended in a tie with a better team, dominant team, but unfortunately just couldn't get um, the ball in the back of net, which is pretty important in the game of soccer. But that clean sheet left us with obviously something to take from the game, and then we faced a very good team in Minnesota on Sunday, and they caught us defensively napping a few times and punished us. Good teams will do that. So kind of a roller coaster of a season so far. I scheduled some really difficult non-conference games for that reason. I felt like last year we went into the MAC season, I think, with one of the best non-conference schedules ever, non-conference records ever. Sorry, 6-1-1, and we were caught off guard a little bit by the physicality and the toughness of the MAC. So I wanted to make sure our schedule prepared us for us this year and allowed us to be a little bit more battle tested. So the schedule is tough. There's some tough games on the horizon, some non-conference games on the horizon. But that's all part of the growth and the learning that non-conference provides. We're also blooding 10 freshmen and two new transfers, which equates to nearly, 45% of our roster. So whilst we're also, learning and, hardening our own approach and mindset, we've got new players that are trying to get up to speed with that. So it's a great environment to learn, to adapt, and I'm hopeful that it will stand us in good position when we get into that conference play.
Well, let's talk about that difficult non-conference schedule that you have this year. Has it shown the results, do you think, in the practice so far? Do you see the team adjusting to that more physical style of play that you get when you're playing a team like Minnesota or some of the Big East teams that you've played?
Yes, yeah. So like the conversations I'm having with my staff, the conversations we're having with teammates, like these conversations didn't happen last year because maybe we didn't feel like they needed to happen, and when we got to those points in the MAC season, maybe it was a little bit too late. So we actually started the MAC conference last year winless in the first five, I believe. So I can see just through dialogue, through conversations, through decisions we're making as a staff and things we're wanting to improve and focus on, that we are preparing ourselves for that MAC season. And yeah, again, you can never guarantee anything, but what I do know is the challenge that these players are facing and the difficulty of these non-conference games will only allow them to grow and learn in these moments, and as a staff as well. So I'm really hopeful that we'll see the fruits of our labor come MAC play.
And maybe the non-conference results this year are not going to end up as impressive as they were last year, but you did get one big win against DePaul. And that's not only beating a Big East team, but it's beating a pretty local rival and a team that NIU has played periodically over the years. It was the first win against DePaul in the last 20 years. What did that mean to get that victory?
Yeah, it was a great victory to get a team that struggled against, especially since I've been here. We've got closer each year, but to get over the line against them was definitely a testament to the quality we have. And honestly, as you've already touched on, the results and the record may not be as positive as last year in terms of 6-1-1, but I can really see some strong performances, some good things that I know when we get to the map play that they're going to put us in good position. So that DePaul win was testament to that. We played a great game against a good team. I think they went on to beat Purdue the following game. So they're no easy feat here for us, and that should hopefully build confidence in the group that we're right there, we're ready to compete, but ultimately, there is still work to be done.
You mentioned a little bit earlier that you've got a lot of newcomers on this roster, freshmen, transfers who are playing. You've also got some veterans coming back. Tyra King, leading goal scorer from last year. Kelsey McLaughlin, the second leading goal scorer from last year, both back with the team this season. How do you feel like they've adapted to some of their new teammates?
Yeah, so experience is so important in college soccer because you lose a lot of experience each year. So that creates opportunities and platforms for new players to step up. and Tyra and Kelsey are two big pieces in that regard, especially for the attacking third of our structure. So Tyra, is an all Midwest selection. So she scored goals at this level, even as a freshman, as a sophomore. And actually, she only played very few minutes this past trip, so we missed her a lot this past week, and her experience and leadership of that front line. But we're hopeful she'll get back here healthy soon. And then, Kelsey's coming back for her second year at NIU, learned a lot about herself and the MAC last year as an individual. Has some fantastic attributes. And I think, again, I know that the experience that she has from last year will allow her to get up to speed quicker. And she's been, very positive in her play so far this season. Defensively working a lot harder, more selfless in how she covers ground and defends, and that's a sign of leadership. That's a sign of experience. Whilst the goals come and go, and obviously you look to players like Kelsey and Tyra to score goals. The one thing that they can't sacrifice or we can't lose is their defensive work ethic and their leadership of that line defensively. So I think both of them have done a good job so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this campaign takes them.
If we turn our attention defensively, specifically in goal, you're not going to see a lot of experience, at least not a lot of experience at NIU, as
Right.
you've got a couple of transfers back there. Morgan Lucic has been starting so far this season. We saw a little bit of Amy Steinman as well. She was with the team last year, but didn't get any action. So how have you felt like the adjustment has been with the play in net?
Yeah, so I think goalkeeper is one of the more difficult positions to play because you can't play any other position, right? You're either starting goalkeeper or you're trying to fight for that number one spot somehow, some way. And so I think we've got a very competitive group. I think Lauren Pearson adds a lot of competition is there in there as well as the three, and that competition should, although maybe lack experience at NIU, they're all established goalkeepers in their own right, have played at a high level for many years now. Um, that competition should, spur them all on, and we reap the rewards of that. Obviously, we have to have discussions and conversations with, the as it relates to the depth chart and who we go with. But I know from a standards and a competition standpoint that all three of them will make each other better, which is what good teams do.
You've got a brand new coaching staff this year along with you. And of course, you're now you're forward on NIU, so you know the ropes a little bit in DeKalb, and you're able to bring in new coaches. How have you worked with them, and how has your experience with this school made it a little bit easier to adjust to new assistant coaches on the staff?
Yeah, like we said with the players and having experience, I think myself having the experience of knowing how things work on and off the field has allowed me to get both Luke and Gabby up to speed. Obviously, they're both very good coaches in their own right, have experience at different schools and different levels. But me being able to educate them, show them the ropes as it relates to NIU operations and also the MAC operations and how we can potentially win games, has allowed the transition to be more efficient. And that's just what experience does for you, and I feel more comfortable in that role as well. Again, getting my previous staff up to speed was more challenging, more difficult because I was learning the ropes at the same time. So we kind of learnt together in those processes. But now I feel far more comfortable, and I feel that's showing in terms of getting Gabby and Luke up to speed a little bit quicker. So yeah, excited about what they can bring, their value to the program, and know that they're going to allow us to improve in many different areas across the board.
Couple more non-conference games. You're at home against Eastern Illinois, and then you travel to Wisconsin, and then it's the start of MAC play. What are you excited to see in these last two non-conference games to get the team ready to go for the conference season?
Honestly, I'm excited to see us grow from this past weekend. I think there was some great moments, but also lots to take from it. So starting focus is Eastern Illinois this Sunday at 1 o'clock. We want to show improvement. We want to show that maybe we're more efficient and effective in the attacking third. We need to start scoring more goals. So I'm excited to see how the group responds to these challenges. And again, each non-conference game is an opportunity to prepare and learn for that first game of MAC play, which is coming around quick as you've alluded to. So I'm excited to see us grow, develop, and improve from the previous game.
Michael O'Neill, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Really excited about the team entering MAC play, and we'll be keeping an eye on them all throughout the season. Thanks for taking some time with us on NIU Weekly today.
Appreciate it, Terry. Have a good one.
It was a pleasure today to talk to Thomas Hammock and Michael O'Neill, two of the great coaches here at NIU. Just about time for me to say my goodbyes. But before I do that, I want to keep you updated on everything that's going on around the school as far as that athletic schedule. And there are a lot of teams that are in action this weekend. Men's soccer starts the weekend off at home against Western Illinois. That is this Thursday night at 5 o'clock. And then a very busy weekend. Of course, we know about the football game on Saturday, but the volleyball team is in action all day Friday and Saturday as well. They're down in Florida at the Stetson Hatters Invitational, which I'm going to talk about some more just because I like to give myself an excuse to say the Stetson Hatters, one of my favorite college nicknames. But the volleyball team will be in action all weekend down in DeLand, Florida. Cross country is at the Fighting Illini Open. Not as fun as the Hatters, but they are in Savoy, Illinois for that Fighting Illini Open. Football, of course, this Saturday against Holy Cross at 2:30 start time. That game will be broadcast live on ESPN Plus, and of course the radio broadcast as well on WDKB 94.9 FM. If you're not at the game, that's always a good way to take it in. And I'm not just saying that because I'm going to be part of the radio broadcast, but it is a good way to take in the game. And then on Sunday, women's soccer takes on Eastern Illinois. That is a home match. So come on out to DeKalb again on Sunday for that. The week's action extends beyond the weekend into Monday. The men's soccer team will be out in Kansas City for an evening matchup with Kansas City. That's going to do it for today's episode of NIU Weekly, our first edition in the fall of 2025, but not the last. I'll be with you each and every week. I assume it's called NIU Weekly, so I can't take a week off. I don't think I'm allowed. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for all of your support always. Hopefully we'll see you at the football game this Saturday afternoon. I'll be there patrolling the sidelines as part of the radio broadcast along with Andy Garcia and Mark Lindo. If you see me, make sure to give me a wave, shout out hi. I'm sure I'll give you a confused look in return. But it would be great to see you at the game on Saturday just the same. It's NIU against Holy Cross in football. Thanks again to my guests today, Michael O'Neill from the women's soccer team, Thomas Hammock, the head coach of the football team. We're going to be back at it next week. Until then, Terry Bonadonna signing off. Go Huskies.